want you to picture out these words: war, hospital, graveyard, ICU, pandemic. How do you picture it out? What are the things, what are the words that come to your mind as you imagine those words that I just said? Some of you may think of anxiety, depression, but I want us to reflect on the topic of pain. For this whole week, we're going to reflect and meditate on that. But first, we have to ask, what is pain? I saw from a philosophical definition from Stanford University that pain is undesirable. It's an undesirable state of affairs. It's something that you don't like, but it's happening. It's happening, but you don't desire it. If pain is defined as undesirable state of affairs, then that means the problem is that more than the fact that it's there, is that we don't desire it. What if we remove desire? Why do we desire? Well, Siddhartha Gautama was born to a noble household. According to the history of Buddhism, Siddhartha Gautama was secluded from the pain and suffering of this world. And when he went out and saw the reality of the world, he saw pain and suffering of the people. He saw it as something that is problematic. He wanted to help people, he wanted to help humanity. In his meditations, he realized that the cause of pain is really desire. Therefore, the solution is to remove the desire or to kill the desire inside you. That is the Buddhist approach in removing pain and suffering in this world. But it brings about questions. Okay? First, I asked earlier, why do we desire? Well, actually, to desire is something natural. You have preference, you have things. When you eat, you there are food that you like, food that you don't like. And sometimes we are raised to have those preferences, but there are also this innate factor. There are some things that we just like, some things that we just don't like. Desire is, in essence, natural. So if it's natural, can you kill the desire? You can't kill the desire. You can't. You can only replace it. You can replace your desire, your passions, but you can't kill desire. You can't kill passion. If you remove it, it will just be replaced by another thing. Desire is so integral to existence. It's so part of our existence. Now, if we can't remove the desire, if we can't kill the desire because it's so part of ourselves, how do we kill the pain? Or should we kill the pain? Now, we live in a day and age where we have medicines and tablets for so many things, and one of those things are painkillers. The pain is somehow killed, but not really the source of pain. Temporarily, the pain is killed, but not permanently, only temporarily, because the source, especially if it's physical, if it's because of a sickness inside of you, then the pain will return. Now, there are some pain that even though it's physical, it brings good. For example, exercise. You do exercise, it's tiring. And sometimes it can be painful. But people go through it because they want to achieve something, achieve a level of tolerance, achieve strength through it. In fact, people who work out, they have this belief that if there's no pain, no gain. So pain is something that brings gain to them. So if pain brings good, why do we have to avoid it? I already threw a lot of questions, but these are the questions that I really want you to answer. First, what is the difference between pain and suffering? Because these things are usually taken together. What's the difference between pain and suffering? Are they just one and the same? Here's the answer that I'm offering you. Pain is natural. Okay? Pain is natural. while suffering is emotional. Sometimes pain is emotional too. But in that sense, even though it's emotional, even though pain is an emotion, it's naturally inflicted. That means it has an external stimuli. I hope you have studied that in science. That means, for example, something was taken from you or something was done to you that inflicts you pain. So you feel physical pain, and there's also a bit of emotional pain, but it's because of an external stimuli. So even though it's an emotion in a sense, but it will naturally go away. Left on its own, it will naturally go away. That's what I mean by pain being natural. So it can be physical, it can be emotional, but it will naturally go away. Now, suffering, the emotion that I'm talking about, this suffering is mentally induced. It's an emotion brought about by mental stimuli. Sometimes something happened to you, but even though that thing has already passed, it's already a long time since that happened, but your mind keeps on bringing it back, therefore causing you suffering. Your suffering now is mental, even though it's touching on your emotion, but it's a suffering that is mentally induced. Sometimes the suffering is caused by things that haven't happened yet. Anxiety, for example, great anxiety is mentally induced, and there's no external stimuli because things haven't happened yet. It's in the future. You don't even know it will if it will come. It's something that you can think of. That's the difference between pain and suffering. Okay, pain is natural in the sense that it has a natural external stimuli. Suffering is emotional, mentally induced emotion. Now, given that as the first question, the second question that I really want us to think of, I want you to go back to that question that I threw earlier. Second is, should you avoid pain? If pain is natural and if it will just go away, why do you have to avoid it? Ask yourself, do you avoid pain? Should you avoid pain? Should you welcome it? Examine yourself, examine your experiences, examine your attitude towards pain. Our body naturally rejects pain, but you as a person, you can rule over your body. How should your attitude be towards pain? I want you to answer that.